Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the Unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes.
Do you think that worked?
Everybody for being here. A lot of places you could be on this Tuesday afternoon, but you're here with us. You've joined more than 3,000 people that have appeared on The Real Raw. Gina Ricci, we have some extraordinary folks. Who we got? Let's rock and roll.
All right, Sean, we have this extraordinary personality. She is vibrant. Her energy is contagious. An accidental entrepreneur, single mom of 4 kids, 3 dogs, 2 cats. Sarah Badamin is here with us today. She's a national speaker on all things healthcare compliance. She created the company called HIPAA Track, serving hospitals, clinics, and LTCs across the country who are struggling to keep up with compliance. She more than doubled in revenue during the pandemic. I mean, I love your fun fact, but I think maybe you might share that. I'm not sure, Sarah. So over to you. Welcome, Sarah, to The Real Raw.
What's up? Thanks, Gina. I actually forgot what fun fact I emailed you. So
Well, Sarah, welcome to the party. Thank you for your extraordinariness. Congratulations on accelerating during the pandemic. Shows an incredible amount of resiliency and all the great things. So thank you for being here. And what is that fun fact or any fun fact about you?
All right. Well, I think I remember now. So fun fact is with all these things that live inside of my house, right? So I've got 4 children, 3 dogs, 2 cats. My family teases me and tells me that I collect living things. Because I just like to bring living things around me.
Nice. And Sarah, may I ask this? Were you referring to your children also as things? Was I hearing that or no?
Of course I do. They're living things too.
That is very true. That is amazing. Yeah. So beautiful. And what is your love for like the diversity of living things? Where does that come from?
I don't know. I think because I grew up in the country and we always were surrounded by like horses and chickens and cows and cats, like feral cats and stuff. I think I just always have liked things, and I had, a large family. So I think that's just how my parents raised me. I don't know.
Well, Sarah,
great question.
Welcome to the party. Appreciate it. And maybe we could work on influence mastery techniques with like animals and feral cats and cows and things. We'll see. So thank you, Sarah, for being here. Gina, who do we have to join Sarah at the party?
Oh, we have this incredible attorney, Mr. Andrew Pickett, resident of Brevard County since 1987, Master of Law from University of Miami, Circuit State Attorney's Office in Brevard. He was the prosecutor there at one point, brings justice to victims in criminal defense, and he was also he was part of Jerry Spence's Trial Lawyers College as well. Been doing extraordinary things. Welcome, Andrew Pickett, to The Real Raw. Glad to have you.
Andrew, welcome.
You're muted. There we go, Andrew.
Okay.
Andrew, welcome to the party, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, hey, thank you very much. And so the Jerry Spence, was that when Jerry Spence had folks coming to the ranch and working on the ranch? Was that part of that or something different?
Yeah, that's right. I went to the Thunderhead Ranch in September of 2018 and did the 3-week Trial Lawyers College. And that was right after I started my own law firm, and it had a pretty big impact on me and the development of my trial skills, and really shaped a lot of the way I think about approaching cases.
Well, it's an honor and a privilege to connect. We hear echo from me, Gina?
A little tiny bit, Sean.
Okay. So in 2000, let's go with, not 2000, in 1997, I flew out to a trial lawyers conference in San Diego where Jerry Spence was speaking right after I believe he had just written How to Argue and Win Every Time.
Yeah.
And
I think it might have been from Andrew. I don't know if it was maybe, it's like echoing off of maybe Andrew. Can you hear us okay, Sean?
I think we've lost Sean because he's
lost
gone
you.
gray instead of green.
Oh.
No. That means he's lost in the multiverse, Gina. We've
my
lost
goodness.
Sean in the multiverse.
yeah, so yes, I disappeared. It was Jerry Spence just kidnapped me. So yeah, it was a profound experience. And so, Andrew, what would you say that your biggest takeaway from the work of Jerry Spence is? Because that's not one of the 25 different foundational dynamics to what we created here.
So probably my biggest takeaway was how important it is to understand myself in order to understand jurors that I'm trying to persuade. And in understanding myself, that goes along with what my baggage is and how my experiences shaped who I am, so that I can connect with a jury in a more effective way.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the party, my friend. Appreciate having you here.
Thank you.
Gina, who do we have as judges for Sarah and Andrew?
We have this extraordinary attorney, entertainment, copyright, trademark out of New York, past chairman of the Nassau County Bar Association, Sean, professor also of music business, contracts, music publishing, copyrights, etc. Welcome, Bruce Coffin, to The Real Raw. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, Bruce, thanks for being here. And what is your fun fact, sir?
What is my fun fact? Well, I don't know. I've had a bunch of years of fun facts. At one point in my life, I was a roadie for a band called the New Riders of the Purple Sage, which opened up the Grateful Dead, and that sort of morphed into also a stage manager gig. The Rolling Stones hired me to be a stage manager for Peter Tosh when he opened up for their '78 summer tour. So, but that's like all sorts of stuff before I practiced law.
Yes, Bruce, I am present to this reality. In the unblinded after dark world, I am sure you could hold the microphone for quite a while and share a whole bunch of stories.
I do have a gift of gab. That's grown on me as I've gotten older, I guess.
All right. Well, I like to share fun facts if they seem to correlate somehow. So it is 1989. I'm a freshman at Columbia University, and I'm working for the Office of Sports Information on campus. Put a few bucks together, and for my dad's birthday, I buy 2 tickets to a Rolling Stones concert. And we're about 10 minutes into the concert. I look over and I see my dad is on top of somebody punching him in the face, lying in the middle of the aisle in Shea Stadium. So that is my roadie dad fun fact.
I hope he had a great time at the show.
I believe he did. Guys, sorry, we're getting some feedback. Bella, any optics or Gina on where the feedback is coming from? Is that me?
It is you. It is you, Sean.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
I don't-
my apologies, team.
When we start, maybe hang up and dial back in. It might just be a bad connection, maybe.
Okay. All right, we'll try that. So, all right, Bruce, thank you for that. Gina, who else do we have with Bruce?
Although it seems to have gotten just better right now.
Yes, I was going to say, I don't hear it.
Yeah.
So
who
we'll
else
see
do we have
when
with
everyone
Bruce?
starts
Great.
talking. Yeah, all right. We're rolling with Bruce is a Dr. Hobie Wedler, completely blind since birth, scientist, entrepreneur, sensory expert, driven by his passion for innovation, Sean, leads chemistry camps for the blind and visually impaired. Also created the company A World of Wine Aromas, tasting in the dark. You know, Hobie, maybe he's a speaker, a mentor, educator. Welcome, Hobie, back to the Real Raw. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be back. Sean, we've met before, but this is fantastic to be here today, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, Hobie, pleasure. I remember you well, my friend. And what is your fun fact, please? Fun fact.
Well, there are a few of them. It's a matter of choosing which one. My fun fact for the day is that even though I'm totally blind, I actually really have a passion for art and sculpting and ceramics. So a lot of people say, "Oh, how can you be an artist when you're a blind person?" Well, there are many, many ways, and I like to consider myself one. So there's a fun fact.
All right, Hobie, awesome. Present to your Renaissance man nest in all the different ways, and it's an honor to have you here, brother.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you. Gina, we got Bruce, we got Hobie. Who else we got?
All right, we have Mr. Russell Devan, owner and CEO of Success by Design Global. Connection from Mr. Drew Berman, best known for designing, sourcing, and new possibilities, new paradigms for sales techniques and methodologies, known as untraining. He's a published author, speaker, trainer, so much more. Welcome, Russ, to the Real Raw.
Honored to be here. Thank you.
Russ, thank you. And do you go by Russell or Russ?
I prefer Russ. The thing is with
Cool.
my name, with my name, Rusty Van, you got to be real careful with Russ because people will think you're a rusty truck. So my last name is Devan. So I usually say Russ Devan instead of Russell, but I prefer Russ. Thanks, Drew.
Well, Russ, thank you for being here. What's your fun fact other than that? Because that's a pretty cool one.
Well,
What else do we have?
I have to say I'm inspired by Sarah. I have been since I've been here. So I want everyone to know I'm not a foil for her. But my fun fact is I collect dead things. I am a paleontologist, which is someone who studies prehistoric life. I'm more like the 5-year-old that never outgrew his love of dinosaurs. So I can be found on digs in remote places looking for evidence of life.
Very, very cool. So you would know the distinctions between brontosauruses and apatosauruses and stegosauruses and all the like, I am presuming.
Yeah, yes, that those would be pretty easy distinctions. Yeah, aside from they lived in 3 different periods, but
yes, because my son would communicate with that way when he was about 5 with me. I'd be like, "Oh, this is a brontosaurus," and he'd be like, "No, Dad, it's an apatosaurus." I'm like, "Okay, thanks, bud." So
well, there
yes,
was
like,
some
that was present for
confusion.
me.
There actually
Yeah,
was
and
some
here-
confusion there for a while, and they decided to get rid of brontosauruses because they were brontosauri, I guess, because they were misclassified. But they've straightened it out. Now brontosaurus is back, and it is different from an apatosaurus.
Got you. Yes. So I'm present to that, and my entire knowledge and awareness of like the Cretaceous period and all the things comes from loving the Flintstones. And the fact, and here's my fun fact and my embarrassing fact, Russ, I took dinosaurs as a class at Columbia University. Yes, in our Ivy League institution, we had dinosaurs as a class. And Bella Verita, I got a C+ in dinosaurs. That is my embarrassing fun fact for today.
Wow. I'm stunned.
So Russ, I could have used your tutoring, but thank you for being here today for sure.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Gina from C Pluses and Dinosaurs at Columbia. Who else we got?
Sean, we have, she carries a wand. I think we call her the influence sorceress. Why don't you tell us about her?
Oh my goodness. What an honor and a privilege it is to have her here. Usually. Bella Verita.
Usually? What do you mean usually? What? What do you mean usually? As if there's a time you're not?
Craft on her front lawn is hot. Mastering the world of sales and influence from long before I even knew influence existed. I had to find Jerry Spence at 27 to understand that there was like a thing called influence, and Bella's rocking it on her front lawn, speeding onto the world of an interesting sales career in high school, then becomes a 7-figure earner in the space of network marketing, taking a like lateral, if not upward trip, I think, to being the number one, not number 3, 2, 4, 8, 10, number one, numero uno. That's my best Spanish, by the way. I got a C+ in Spanish at Columbia also. True fun fact, Bella became the number one business broker in the state of Nevada. Now she is the chief influence sorceress at Aligned Talent, training, leading, coaching, sourcing, recruiting, placing, everything you need to know about sales talent, scaling and building. The one, the only co-host of The Real Raw, Bella Verita. Bella, how are you on Trajectory Tuesday?
I am absolutely extraordinary, Sean Callaghy. Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here. And what is your fun fact?
You know, I think my fun fact, since you mentioned it, or I don't know if Gina mentioned it, but I do carry a magic wand because like I make magic happen. So I think that is like a pretty fun fact. And because I'm back in the Boca office, I actually have my magic wand. I think that's a pretty fun fact. And I'll also go with Sean, since the fact that like, you know, Bruce is here and he's talking about, you know, being a roadie is, you know, now that I've been to a Bruce Springsteen show with you, is I now feel like I'm a Bruce Springsteen roadie.
That is optimal. Now, those Bruce and everyone are fighting words between Bella and Gina Ricci. Those are fighting words. I'll just leave it at that. Because Gina, maybe I won't leave it at that. Because Gina may or may not, like, you know, run around a beach club with Bruce Springsteen, be chasing around like in a Blondie After Dark. But Gina, we love you. It's an amazing and great day for the multiverse. You are truly incredible. Tell Bruce, tell Patty, like, yeah, just don't get in the way, Gina. Okay?
I will not. He likes redheads, Sean, you know, so Bella, I don't know.
Uh-oh. Patty might be in trouble.
All right, Gina, have an amazing day.
Love you all. Have fun in the multiverse. Ciao for now.
Bye, Gina.
Thank you. Bella Verita, who in the heck is going first today on The Real Raw? And by the way, let's pause. We had fun. We connected. We opened up listening. But we're about to step into, well, still some fun, but heart-centered, aspirational, decisive energy, because influence is in fact a superpower. You know, if you look at the Hulk, I don't know, maybe even Superman, maybe not Superman, but let's go the Hulk, who's a superhero with a superpower of strength. If you compare the Hulk's strength to even the strongest human being, I submit to you that the differential would not be as large as the differential between those of ordinary influencing capability and those at the most maximum levels. Bruce Springsteen, Beyonce, Nelson Mandela, Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey. Take your pick of people with the superpower of influence, and what they do with it, they can change businesses, relationships, sales, marketing, economics. Heck, they can even change and build nations or destroy them. That's the power we're playing with here today. We have fun, we open up listening, but we are stepping into serious business. And the difference between people in the skill of influence, even at super high levels, is mind-bogglingly extraordinary. So Bella Verita, who's going first?
I think Sarah, her energy, her excitement, I think she's ready to kick us off.
Of course you're going to pick me first.
All right, Sarah, you got great energy. Sarah, who would you like Bella Verita to be? She'll be anybody, an ideal client, anybody else that you're seeking a yes from. Who would you like Bella to be?
So I was thinking about this for the last like 5 minutes because I did not prepare. So I think that I would like for Bella, if you don't mind, please, could you, because HippoTruck we sell to a lot of hospitals, clinics, LTCs, but sometimes we get to them through consulting firms, through EMRs and so forth. And we're just starting to open up and trying to get in through consulting firms. So I think that I would like for you to be an executive at a healthcare consulting firm.
Okay.
And also going to pick these up too, because I have a sales team that does like all of the sales, but I'm responsible for partnerships. I still do all of those. So I'm going to even go way out of my comfort zone here, y'all. And I'm going to pretend like this is a cold call instead of somebody calling and soliciting me, which
all right.
typically we get calls in. And so this is because this is a new vertical for us. Why not just try to make me super uncomfortable? Which I don't know if you'll be able to do, Bella, but you can try.
Yes.
Ooh, Sarah's got a little bit of spice, Bella. So let's take this in, Bella. Inbound phone call. Let's go. I mean, so she's making outbound phone call to you.
Yeah,
so
no,
let's rock and roll.
Bella, bring.
Hello, this is Bella.
Hey, Bella, what's up? This is Sarah Batterman. I am calling from HippoTruck. How are you today?
I am well, Sarah. Super busy today.
Oh, awesome. So I'm not going to take too much of your time. I just want to kind of talk to you a little bit about your compliance consulting. I see that that is an offering that y'all provide. And I wanted to see if you've ever explored the opportunity to partner with a technology company to make your consulting even more efficient, where you can consult with more clients all at once.
No, that hasn't been anything that we've thought about or considered. So what is this about?
Yeah, so HippoTruck is a cloud-based compliance platform that helps administrate HIPAA compliance. And we have this really cool back end for consulting firms where you'll be able to actually access all of your clients' data from one platform and help them with their compliance and meet their goals. So how are you guys doing your consulting now? Is it through like Excel sheets and PowerPoints, or how are y'all doing that now?
We do have a system that we use. It is a pretty basic software that does all the tracking for us. It's pretty basic. We graduated from spreadsheets quite a while ago.
Oh, awesome. So this means you're open to having a conversation about software. Would you be interested in seeing what we can do for you?
What do you think makes it like different than the software we already use, or why would we want to consider, I'm super busy. So to take the time to, look at another software right now, I don't know if that's something I want to take the time for, but if you can convince me on why I want to make that time something we could probably do.
All right, awesome. So I will just talk to you for just a minute about why we're different, right? So your basic system that you're utilizing right now to track compliance, does it have the capability to track all of the elements of compliance, training, your policies, breaches, your application data criticality analysis, risk assessment? Does it do all of that, or is it just certain elements?
I believe it's just certain elements, yeah.
Yeah, so we have all that I just described and more, where you can actually be inside of your client's actual compliance program all at once. So you're not just tracking KPIs for your clients, you're actually helping them to administrate their compliance in a much more meaningful way and give you a closer relationship with your clients, all while you're maximizing your consultant's time.
I definitely like to maximize the consultant's time, that's for sure.
Right. So do you guys bill on an hourly basis, or you do per project?
We do per project.
Yeah, so
I've got about 10 seconds before I need to go, Sarah.
All right. Well, then the last thing I want to ask is, can I schedule you time to see a demo of HippoTruck?
Yeah, let's definitely, I got to get a couple of my team members involved, but if it can do all the things, let's take a look at it.
Awesome. So I'll shoot you an email to get that set up.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks, Bella.
Bye-bye.
All right, Sarah, excellent work. Like the energy, very nice. We'll see what the judge has to say in a moment. Let's jump on over to Andrew. Andrew, who would you like Bella Verita to be? What's a yes that you're seeking in the world?
So Bella can be an attorney that is just about to graduate law school that is looking for a job and has submitted a resume to my firm.
Ooh.
Ooh. All right. Let's take it in, Bella.
Oh, wait, and just real quick, Andrew, what kind of law is it that you practice?
I do plaintiff's personal injury and wrongful death.
Okay, got it. Okay, thanks.
Let's take it in.
All
Hello,
right.
Go ahead.
Hi, Bella. This is Andrew Pickett. I received your resume in the mail today, and I understand that you're applying for a job. I was really impressed and wanted to hear a little bit more about your trial experience. And I noticed your experience doing trial team in law school. Tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for in a job.
Yeah, I'm graduating law school, top of the class, and I'm really looking for somewhere where they believe in, nurturing and growing. I want to get some trials under my belt. I want to be able to practice. I really want to get into, into the meat of things. I'm not looking to, be a law clerk for, the next coming years and work my way up. I'm really looking for somewhere that you can see my skills, can see what I've done in school, and we're ready to get to work.
Well, that's great. I noticed you did a lot of work, the trial team, and I wanted to tell you about how my firm might be a great fit for you. I have one attorney at the firm, and that's me, but I'm growing rapidly, and the next person that I hire is going to be given an immediate opportunity to be in the courtroom and to try cases with me and to get immediate trial experience. And as you may or may not know, a lot of times for first-year lawyers, that can be difficult unless you work in the public sector. So the person that I'm looking for this job will be able to hop right in and learn how to try a case right next to me and get a lot of mentorship from me directly and really learn the world of personal injury law from A to Z. So I want to make an offer to you to come work for me, and I want to let you know about kind of what that would look like. Do you have any questions about the nature of the firm or anything you're going to be experiencing here?
I think the biggest thing is will be a learning environment. So you won't find anyone better in the courtroom. Quite frankly, I have a formula for winning, so I can definitely win in the courtroom, I believe. So I definitely think that is a great choice. But I'm also looking, to grow, and so receiving feedback and coaching and support so that I can get better is super important.
Well, that's great. That's really exactly what I'm looking for. I'm hoping to find somebody who has the enthusiasm that you have. And the way that we'll approach it at the beginning is we'll try every case together with both of us, and I'll be able to give you feedback, and we'll be able to split up responsibilities, and I'll make some time to teach you exactly how I think you could become a better trial attorney. And I'll actually be looking for the same from you. I'm sure I can learn just as much from you as you can from me. But you'll have an opportunity to hit the ground running in your first week of the job. I've got several trials scheduled, and your enthusiasm and your experience makes you look like you'd be a perfect fit for my firm.
Awesome. Let's go take these people down.
All right. Well, I'm going to be in Miami where you go to school next week. What do you think about doing a lunch next Wednesday?
That sounds fantastic.
All right. I look forward to talking to you more about the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it. I look forward to it as well.
Awesome. Great job, Andrew. Outstanding stuff.
I feel like I can fit right into an episode of Suits.
You can, and you're sitting, and by the way, you're not sitting in the middle of, Calgary law in Florida. Isn't that where you are?
This is true.
Very, very nice.
I get to play an attorney on TV.
All right, let's see what the judge had to say. Hobie, Bella's playing an attorney on TV, but let's start with some feedback for Sarah. 30 seconds, please. 15 seconds will work. 15 seconds, what could be optimized, then a score on a scale of 1 to 10. Hobie, please, what do you have?
Sarah, I thought what really worked well was your ability to articulate what your software did. It was very clear to me after about the first minute and a half how you would be able to help Bella a ton with at her firm, at her consulting company. I think that if I were to improve part of that, it would be just to get on and just say, hey, listen, I'm not going to waste your time. let me tell you what I do and see if it's something you need, just rather than asking an intro question of, would you like to do this better? Would you like to have more, technology? Would you like to have more ability in your software? Those sorts of things. I mean, the answers are pretty much, going to be resounding yeses, but I thought overall it was really good. I think
and your score for Sarah is?
My score for Sarah is 9.5. Thought it was fantastic.
Ooh,
Nice, Hobie. And how about for Andrew, Hobie?
Andrew, the thing that I really liked about your presentation is how clear you were about what you needed your new hire to do and how you would be supporting them. There was nothing unambiguous about it, or there was nothing ambiguous about it. It was very straightforward, very approachable, and I would know exactly what I was getting into if I was in Bella's shoes, which is great. What I might improve just a little bit on is a little more excitement about working for your firm, your company culture, kind of explaining just a little earlier in the call. Hey, this is what we do. This is how we do it. This is what what our company means, what we stand for, etc. My score is a 9.5 as well. I thought it was well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the feedback, Hobie. Excellent. Let's move on to Bruce. Bruce, please, what did you have for Sarah?
Well, over the years, I get a lot of those types of calls because I've been the managing partner of a small firm, so I get calls from people who want to sell me this, sell me that, sell me this, sell me that. I thought you were very well prepared. I don't know whether you would have gotten past, what are you selling me? Or are you selling me something, or are you buying something from me? If you had called me, but I think not that Bella helped you any, in the sense that she was dispassionate. She really, it's like you had to also get into her ear and keep her occupied, and sometimes a little bit of luck, and sometimes it's also you sounded well prepared. You sounded like you knew what you're talking about, and that, so like if you can get past the first 10 seconds, usually like with me, if you get past the first 10 seconds, then you got me for a couple of 3 minutes. So
And
you
your
got
score for Sarah is?
I'm sorry?
Your score for Sarah is?
My score for Sarah is a 9.
9. Beautiful.
Thank you, Bruce.
That was
Thank
real
you,
good.
Bruce. Excellent. Excellent. How about for Andrew?
Andrew also, I was also the hiring partner for my firm for many, many years, and I hired interns, I hired lawyers, I hired staff and stuff like that. My only real criticism, if any, is that you offered her the job too quick. I think it's always worth having, if you can't do a hello, how are you, where you can look somebody in the eye, especially if it's going to be your co-counsel who's going to be your go-to counsel one of these days. I think so your enthusiasm for hiring somebody, but that also is possible because of the resume.
And your score for Andrew is?
I'm sorry, my number here?
Yep, your score for Andrew is? Yeah.
I give him a 9.
Nice. Thank you, Bruce.
You're
Great
welcome.
feedback. Let's go with Russ. Please, what'd you have for Sarah?
What I got for Sarah is, Sarah, what worked for me was your presence and your confidence. I thought your poise was excellent. You seemed to know what you're talking about. What was missing for me is you seemed to use a lot more open questions than you did closed questions, or more closed questions than you did open questions. Closed questions limit the customer's response. You could have encouraged her, I think, to reveal more and talk more with more open questions. I give you a solid 8.5 for your score.
Thank you, Russ.
And how about Andrew, great, Russ. And how about
Andrew? What really worked for me was actually your use of open questions. You encouraged her to talk, but you also integrated in specific responses that you were looking for, which led her down the path that allowed you to give her the buy when and say that you were going to meet her in Miami and let's have lunch. You're what I'm looking for. I liked the way you did that. I thought it was professional and didn't come across as rehearsed, and it felt authentic to me. So I'm going to give you a 9. And by the way, I just wanted to say, Bella, I loved you in Miss Congeniality. Oh, wait a minute. That was Sandra Bullock. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness, that is fun, Russ. So speaking of fun, Bella, I don't know. Should we have some more fun? Maybe
we should definitely have some more fun, Sean. And since Andrew and Sarah were on the hot seat, and you're probably out there in Long Beach Island surfing waves, having a super easy day, catching some waves and hanging loose, dude. I think someone should get to put you on the hot seat today.
Via con Dios. Let's do this thing. So who do you think, Bella?
I think Russ should get to set the scenario. So Russ, if you're up for the challenge, we're going to put Sean Callagy on the hot seat, which means he has to go from hello to yes in any scenario. So you can set the scenario up. He has been past President Trump. He has been President Biden. He had to convince the other day, President Trump had to convince President Biden of why he should still build the wall. That was entertaining. He has gone from hello to yes to get a super conservative attorney from New Jersey to say yes to going to Burning Man. That was entertaining. He's done a marriage proposal to keep someone in the country in 3 minutes after meeting them. That was entertaining. So you get to set any scenario. It could be something that you're looking to go from hello to yes in your own life and want to see how he demonstrates that. So Russ, I saw you looking up. I see some ideas stirring in your head. What?
Yeah, but Bella Rita, you always leave out the integrity instruction. That's the one instruction you always leave out, my dear Miss Congeniality friend. So could you share that part with Russ?
Yes. So Russ, the only caveat is it has to be integrous. So we're not selling swampland in the middle of Central Park. It's got to be an integrous hello to yes.
So who you talking to me or are you talking to Sean?
I'm talking to you. So
Okay.
the scenarios you set up's got to be integrous.
It has to be an integrity, meaning that it has to be,
There has to be a value for an authentic value, meaning like Bella said, it wouldn't be hey,
value
Sean,
for me.
Value for whomever we're seeking the yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for whoever.
So I think this will work. Sean, I want you to enroll me in your course.
Oh, that's never been done.
God.
So
all right, I like this.
Have at it.
Fun. All right. So Russ, first of all, thank you for being here today. I appreciate it immensely. A lot of folks are resistant because we live in our survival brain, fear of rejection, fear of failure present. So it takes a lot of courage to step up and say yes, to do something that may not be completely clear. So thank you for being here today.
Okay. You're welcome.
Yeah. And so if I could ask you this, what caused you to say yes? And if I could put this into some containers, a lot of folks, well, I got a phone call, I figured, and I don't think that's true. What I believe is that the only reason that people say yes to anything is because there's a wanting for something. So if we say, hey, you want ice cream? I don't know. Okay, like you wanted ice cream. So the reason people say yes is because they want more. And I think it's very simple. Because Einstein said, make everything as simple as possible, but not simpler. And what he shares is, I believe. So the containers I've created of how people process life in the world is they either want more money, more financial abundance, and I do mean and or, sometimes it's all three, two of the three, one of the three, and or they want more time freedom, scaling, leverage, duplication. And when people have the money and time, then they begin to progress on to magic. I want impact. I want to be an author, a speaker. You know what? I want to raise enormous amounts of money for charity. And yeah, like I'm here, I'm happy, but I do want more. So my question for you is, what if any of those things, and I have to believe something played a role in your saying yes, caused you to say yes to be here today? What's that more that's out there for you?
Well, I didn't know I'd said yes, but let's assume that I am going to say yes. Excuse me for that. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
So here's why I'm here. I'm interested in exploring what's still possible for me at this point in my life. So I'm looking not so much for something I want as something that's missing. So what I'm looking for with you, I pretty much after 68 years know what works, what doesn't work, but I'm always in the research of what's missing. So what can you tell me, Sean, about what you can provide that's missing for me?
Yeah, and thank you for that, Russ. So I would say that there's the distinct possibility that absolutely nothing is missing for you. Absolutely nothing. And that it wouldn't be a good fit to do anything. I believe that what's missing is rooted in like what our heart, what our energy desires. So I would default back to, is there something more that's there for you? Like, do you have the money, the resources? I'm hallucinating you do, right? I'm wondering if there's more time, leverage, duplication, and or more magic. And what we mean by magic is creating more impact, touching lives, presenting and creating more. And there's plenty of people, brother, that don't want anything more. If you met me from 2007 to 2018, I wanted nothing more. I was a business owner, not operator. I was present to coaching every single game my kids played in. I designed a very intentional life. There's nothing anybody could offer me that would have been of any interest to me because I had what I wanted. 2018, I decided I want to create much more impact and scale and teach people to do the things that I learned how to do quite uniquely. And I want to create a program to do that with. And that's what drove me, with the desire to like lessen suffering in a capitalist structure, to show people that we really don't see what we don't see, and there's more there. So I'm not sure if any of that resonates for you. And if not, we would definitely not be the right fit. So as I share those things about money, time, magic, is there any resonance for you of a pull?
Well, I'll tell you what does resonate with me, Sean, about you is, even as we speak, you're in the inquiry about what's going to get me across the finish line. And I like that. And what I could say is, yes, there is something missing, but it's not something that I want. It's something that I'm committed to. And I'm always committed to growing, and I'm always committed to new ways to contribute to people. And if you can provide that, I'd say my answer would be a yes.
Yeah. So thank you. So if it's okay, in our final minute or so here, can I drop into that piece?
Sure.
Yeah. So in that regard, I have studied acceleration consciously for 24 years, unconsciously for 35. I was 16 years old and I hadn't started varsity baseball as a sophomore in high school. Not a big deal. A lot of people don't start varsity as a sophomore. I was going to start either way as a junior. And I started doing imagery and visualization. And I also started lifting weights. And in 1986, people told you not to lift weights for baseball. I now realize that I was modeling, because I was looking at Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, and I'm like, dude, they're doing something different. And I know they're doing steroids, but there was a complete revolution. But there was a complete revolution in what baseball players look like in the 80s, even the guys that didn't do steroids, and I'm present to most did, but guys don't today. There's a physical differential. And that was my first, and I got, by the way, I started doing that, and I got 100 Division I offers. And I went to Columbia, was a 4-year starter captain on my college baseball team. And that began my journey to realizing that the results that people were producing were wildly different. But it was much more complex than work harder, believe in yourself, and all these beautiful motivational messages, which resonate with me. And I am a positive person. But I'm also, and I think far more importantly, a strategist. And when I graduated from law school, after my blindness, which I currently have, had begun to take my sight away, and I wasn't drafted to play professionally, I'm like, holy cow, I don't want to be a lawyer working this way for the rest of my life. And what I came to realize was people who could generate business that made all the difference. And as I mentioned to Andrew earlier, I met Jerry Spence at an event with a whole bunch of people, and I also met the work of Tony Robbins. And their work combined told me there's a different path and a way, not through motivation, not through inspiration, but through deeper levels of mastery of self, mastery of influence, and mastery of process. And all the process is relevant to growing, scaling, and building marketing, sales, leadership. So I did something completely crazy, Russ, and there's some attorneys here. You can tell me if you've heard this before. I quit my job 6 months out of law school, working for one of New Jersey's most prestigious firms. And I started my own law firm on my credit card, $100,000 in debt, as the first person in my direct family line to go to college. I built a 40-person law firm in 2 years with zero paid advertising and zero bank financing, simply on a credit card. I couldn't believe it was possible. And it wasn't because I was so extroverted, because I ate lunch in my car as a sophomore at Columbia by myself for most of my second semester sophomore year, because I'm in fact extroverted. I failed freshman high school geometry for the year, so I wasn't that uniquely brilliant. And I ran for class president in 7th grade and failed miserably. And I think I got 2 votes, myself and my girlfriend, and maybe she voted for me. Since I had 2 top 100 national jury verdicts, I exited my first law firm, my 125-person law firm. I share these things not because they're impressive, because I haven't heard of other unique dynamics like this. And I'm not that smart. I'm not that talented. I just studied the things people taught me and modeled it. And now I teach it to others. I have the unique privilege of being one of only 2 attorneys in America who have had 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 16, and the only one that was blind. I've broken sales records on stage at Tony Robbins, and after 40 years, I think that is the most developed and evolved personal development stage in the world. I recreated that process and shattered their sales records. And they didn't even ask me to do it. I had to convince them it made sense, it was relevant, and then delivered it myself on stage. And the last 4 times I've spoken for charity, the number has changed from 3.4 million to now with a $2 million donation last week for the American Foundation for the Blind to 5.4 million. So my point in those things, because by the way, again, zero ego. I'd rather be surfing. I think that we have a mission and purpose in the world, and we teach people through our programs through not only content, but accountability structures and immersive skill development, how to create the accelerations and the impact at a higher level exponentially than we want. That's a very short treatment. There's a lot to unpack, but I don't know, Russ, how does any of that resonate or not for you?
Well, I think you are to be acknowledged for what you've accomplished. And I think your cause is noble. I commend you for it. And I have one question for you.
Yes, sir.
What do you know about me?
I don't know anything yet, other than you said that you have a wanting for more.
Right.
So I still wouldn't know more how that fits, but you said you're committed to more impact, more desire, more acceleration. And that's why I asked you those questions.
Yeah, I guess where I'm going with that is, since this is a conversation about integrity, what I'm demonstrating to you is I'd probably be a lot more enrolled in what you're saying if you learned something more about me, other than maybe, just the key parts that would allow me to get in your course, find out what I'm concerned about, like what some of my commitments are. So I'm in no position to coach you, Sean, and I'm not purporting to. I'm honored to be in a position to interact with you. And this is kind of taken me aback to be put in this position. I've loved it, and I've loved the interplay with you, and I would love to get to know you better.
Yeah. And Russ, by the way, note, I didn't ask you to enroll in this at all. And if you go back and re-listen to this process,
I picked that scenario. I picked the scenario. So and maybe I hope it wasn't misunderstood. I was in a scenario, I thought, of being the person who was being enrolled. And so that's the place that I took. So if I was being enrolled, I wasn't enrolled yet. I don't need to talk after I've enrolled. So that's the game that we were playing, at least I thought. And I hope I didn't do anything,
Oh, no. Russ, absolutely awesome. It's just, I wouldn't go from hello to yes and enrolling somebody in the program in 3 minutes. So where I was going was identifying if first in integrity there is any gap in wanting, right? Because if there's no gap in wanting, people don't belong in the program, period, right? Like, and so if there's not something or committed to, what you say committed to, I would still say that's wanting, right? I think we want our commitments, but these are our terms, so I honor your terms. So some things people are committed to one of those things. And in a 3-minute time frame, it took us probably 2 minutes to explore the concept of committed to more. And then you're saying, okay, well, can you deliver some of that committed to more? So I shared a bit about my background, but all I would be advocating for at that stage, and I always share this with people in that segment, we have to learn and discover where people are and what people want, which is why I certainly didn't jump in and start talking about myself. I jumped in and to see if there's a gap, if there's any commitment more that's there.
And I didn't mean to throw you a hook with being committed, but I can give you a quick distinction, and this is my own distinction. I believe people want a lot of stuff. And I think that I use the term to distinguish being committed to something rather than wanting it. A lot of times we don't get what we want, but I say nearly all the time we get what we're committed to. And that's the difference, because you do things when you're committed to something that you don't do when you just want something. So I just used that as an opportunity to bring that in. And I wasn't testing you. I'm not in a position to, but as I said, I've loved and been honored by this interplay. And I really appreciate you playing with me.
Yeah, I appreciate it as well, and only because we've gone this far, and I just want to step into this for one more minute. So, and this is not about enrollment, but let's continue the conversation. If we had more than 3 minutes, what I would have asked you is, I'm hearing Russ impact, I'm hearing commitment to that. What does that look like? If you can have it all your way, this is a very common question I would ask at what I call step 2, like after a rapport is built and open, if we, depending upon the segment of time, there'd be a different treatment of the rapport building. So let's say we had 7 minutes or 10 minutes instead. I would say, so what does it look like if you have it all your way, Russ? And you talk about impact, commitment, like what's that vision look like to you that you're committed to?
It would look like exactly what I'm creating right now.
And what is that?
Well, I'm building an $80 million foundation to do good in the world when I die.
Oh, that's extraordinary. And what type of good are you looking to do with that foundation?
I'm looking to produce 1,000 cash flow millionaires by August 1st of 2023. From my own something that I call untraining, a training system that I sourced some 30 years ago. That's what Success by Design is.
Awesome. So you're creating training systems to create cash flow millionaires, and then the foundation that you're looking to create for the 80 million to create impact, that's as a byproduct of revenues created through this program? Or
actually it comes about like this. Every person that I produce that's a cash flow millionaire has an honor pledge that if their $1 million comes from our relationship, now I don't charge them, but it comes out of the relationship of working together, that when they become a cash flow millionaire, they donate $84,000, 1/12 of $1 million, $84,000 to the Success by Design Global Foundation to do good in the world when I die. And so that's an $84 million foundation. It comes about through other people's success that I played a part in.
Russ, that's awesome. And just in final, and because I would want to give you, again, having gone this far into the conversation. And by the way, guys, this is like the first time ever that I've even leaned into any of this conversation.
I'm a little bit embarrassed because it is, but I'm sorry.
No. You did a beautiful job. And this is invaluable for everybody since we opened this road.
Okay.
The sourcing of those 1,000 people.
Yes.
And let's just spend 60 seconds, because this is for everybody. Sourcing, the 2 most difficult things to do in business are, 1, the sourcing of your ideal avatar. And I don't mean your ideal avatar for what you can get or take, but that ideal avatar where you can create value together, whether it's in partnership, client base, that ideal avatar. And the second is to articulate value to them, to see value, right? That's the most difficult thing you can do. Those two things, right? But to source ideal avatar, it's rooted in this concept that, and most of us understand this, but when we get to the third micro distinction, there's a lot that becomes available. One is that all business is built on relationship. We all know that. But all relationship is built on shared experience. We may be somewhat present to that, right? But the third piece is where people have an enormous opportunity for acceleration. It's how do we create the most optimal shared experience to source relationship build ideal avatars. And ideal is efficiency in money, time, and energy. So my question for you, Russ, would be in the sourcing of those 1,000 people, what is that shared experience dynamic? If it's not there yet, totally cool. It's not a trap question, but and I won't even put you on the spot and ask you for the sake of time. But
no, I think I can answer it pretty simply. The sourcing of that comes from building something together, and the something that we're building together is a new paradigm for social media working for people that places a premium on contribution over connection. And I also want to comment on something else you said that's become, unfortunately, a cliche. I wish the world was more about relationships. Everybody says it's all about relationships, but if it is, we live in the most dysfunctional society I've ever seen in my life. It does need to be about relationships, but to be about relationships, people need to connect authentically. And it's something that we've lost our way on. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree completely. And final for everybody. And this has turned into content that we don't normally get into, but this is 100 hours of content we're touching on to be unpacked. It is, I believe this, that authentic relationship is created with two dynamics. One is when we love people truly unconditionally with boundaries. And second, the boundary is what our agreements are. And that's where it gets really confusing. Because the distinction between folks that, I had the privilege of traveling in some very, very interesting circles and diverse circles. And there's the heart-centered world of loving people and gathering together and connectivity. And then there's the logical, more direct circle. I'll call it the logic math circle. And that's where it's just about bottom line results. It's when those two circles come together, when there's love and empathy, and there's decision making. And I call those the distinctions between goddess and Zeus energy, not men and women, goddess and Zeus energy, gathering energy and decisive energy. And when those energies and intentions and specificity come together in agreements, and that's where integrity comes in. Integrity is not just being nice. Integrity is telling people the truth. And the truth is most people have no idea how to actualize the dreams Russ was talking about. I know thousands of them. Most people have no clue. They have beautiful vision, beautiful intention, but if it was that easy to make the world a greater place, why didn't Martin Luther King succeed? Why didn't Tony Robbins fully make the world different? Why didn't Joe Biden or President Trump or Barack Obama? And the answer is because there's still an enormous chasm of how people create a formula to actualize the beautiful vision into life. And that's the work that we do here. So thank you for all that access and conversation. There's loads more to talk about. We've gone way over time. I would normally now ask how everybody enjoyed the day, what the yes everybody is seeking. But I just want to ask if there's anybody who wants to share anything before we conclude, because I would have normally gone around again. My apologies, never happened before. For us, nothing to be embarrassed about. I could have shortened that a little bit, but I thought once we opened some of those doors, it was important to, continue stepping into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess
thank you. So is there
Then, John, I just want to add to, the conversations we've spoken a lot about, integrity and I was in the room when Tony Robbins had Sean stand up in front of a room full of 200 people. Tony Robbins never ever edifies anyone, never acknowledges anyone. Because then it's becomes, I don't know, my hallucination is it becomes an addiction for people, or, then everybody seeks it. And Tony Robbins, back when I was in an event with Sean in October, and he had Sean stand up and literally stood behind him, Tony put his hand on Sean's heart and said, there is no one that leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. And like the room erupted. And I've now been a part of Unblinded for the better part of a year. And I have been behind the scenes, I've been in front of the scenes, and I have never seen a company run with such integrity. And I've never seen events, because we kind of joke about, in the Tony world, there's an underbelly of the Tony Robbins world, and there's no underbelly of the Unblinded world. I have never seen a company run with such integrity, such heart. And we were talking earlier that it's like, the way that Sean cares about people and their dreams is like he's climbing out Mount Everest with 100 other people, and he knows how to get to the top, and like all the 100 people go, no, but let's go this way. No, let's go this way. And yet he'll endure any freezing temperatures, any conditions to lead people to the top. And I've never seen anybody be able to endure what he endures so that everybody else gets their dreams in such a selfishless way in my entire life. So I do just want to share that because I did witness it with my own eyes. So
thank you.
Well, thank you, Bella. Yeah, I appreciate everybody. Is there anything else anybody like to share before we conclude for today? And again, really, Russ, I appreciate the questions. I appreciate the comments, all of it. Thank you.
A lot of fun. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Yeah, anybody else have anything they'd like to share?
I don't think
All right,
anybody
well, Sarah?
can follow up that. That was amazing.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, appreciate you very much. Thank you for your time today.
All right. Thank you.
And thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you very, very much for being here. There's a lot of things you guys can be doing with your time, and you did a wonderful job. And it's an honor to know somebody who's been moved by Jerry Spence's work. So thank you.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Bruce, appreciate you very much as well. Take your time. Any final thoughts from you, sir?
My pleasure. No, it was a very interesting ride. I thought Russ had a lot to offer. I teach business ethics also, where I teach at Five Towns College, and there's a strain of integrity that is always important, because one of the models of our business in the United States has always been to I won't say necessarily greed is good, but it certainly borders on that. And there's another strain of people who believe that you can earn with integrity and fairness and equality and care and all that other stuff. And it's a program that is just beginning to become taken seriously in business associations and stuff like that. So it was very interesting to hear it, spoken in such a way. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bruce, thank you. And our work is integrity-based human influence. And our definition of integrity is keeping agreements, number one, but also enforcing the agreements that the intention is to add more value than you take or receive in every combined relationship, and to create value and mutuality so that you've created more value collectively overall, not just receive it from the other person. So, and I completely agree, Bruce. So thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Hobie, what say you as we take it home, brother?
Hobie's not here anymore, Sean. He had to go at the top of the hour.
Okay. Yeah, right. So Bella Vrita, beautiful job. Any final?
My final, Russ, I'm not sure, where you are, but on, July 15th, Sean is doing an event in New Jersey that everybody is invited to. If you want to even just experience, what Unblinded is about, there is a link in the chat, and everybody's invited. You're not sure where anybody is, but if you're the slight bit curious, as I mentioned, Tony Robbins did say there's no one that leads with more heart and more integrity. And, I would say come and see for yourself. There's also a free gift in the chat that Sean created as well. And that will give you, just a little taste into what the formula is, how to go from hello to yes with integrity. And, as Sean said, just want to thank everyone for being here. It does take an enormous amount of courage. Sean, I appreciate, everything that you do every day here on the Real Raw and every day in Unblinded to lead so many extraordinary people. I truly feel so honored and blessed to be here. And so we definitely look forward to working with everyone in the future. Back to you, Sean.
Yeah, no, thank you. And that July 15th event, just for fun in the comment of integrity, is free. That one-day event. If we have for people in the program, we go the next 3 days. But also, if people feel like it wasn't valuable, we pay you. So to that point, everybody, by adding more value, and that's how confident we are. And so people can come, attend, and if they don't feel it was worthwhile, we actually write people a check. So thank you all for being here today. It was absolutely extraordinary. And we do very much would love to see you on the 15th. But more importantly than that, thank you. And we wish you all the best in the world. So have a beautiful day. Because Bella, thank you. Bella Verita, we are all blind.
And just learning to see. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.